Rob, thank you for joining us. A point here against Reading. Can I get your thoughts on the game first?
Yeah, a scrappy game, wasn't it? Obviously, wasn't for two teams that pride themselves on trying to play football. It was really tough because we sort of counted each other out, so it became a bit of a battle and transitional. And I thought we handled it pretty well most of the time. I think probably as few chances in both boxes, which sort of reflected the game. Disappointing goal to give away, but great attitude and mentality from the lads to get the goal back and then go on and win it. Obviously, you can't keep talking about it, but yeah, just at the end there, the game's got to see through in the final third. That there's even 4 minutes in a game like that in the first place, and then the opportunity at the end, it could have been something, could have been even better. But I just asked the lads, please be a reflection of me in terms of your mentality and your desire and willingness to run, willingness to give everything. And ironically, probably all the tactical stuff went out the window because of the state of the game, and obviously the pitch, which I think is documented, obviously was poor, so we weren't able to play, and it was dry because of the heat. Ben does an amazing job, the groundsman, but obviously it's getting to that stage of the season where it deteriorates. So the work they've done to keep it as it is was brilliant. But yeah, once it gets dry and sticky, it's hard to play for both teams. Reading are a fantastic footballing team, so. Yeah, that's it really. I was just pleased with the fight and the determination, the willingness, considering where the squad's at. We're completely depleted again. So I'm proud of all the lads.
Yeah, we spoke in the last few games about the frustrations of not really getting a foothold in the game. It seemed like we did have the foothold in today's game, but in another sense, the frustration probably came from not being able to sort of get the ball over the line until the 90th minute. We looked like we controlled a lot of the game in the middle areas of the pitch, but we're just unable to convert that into a few chances.
No, and that's bodies in the box, and I'm so pleased with Pan. Pan was really ill during the week, and obviously it's Ramadan, so he's fasting, and he gives you everything. So it's brilliant to have Pan on the pitch, and he gets the goal from willingness to run, willingness to do everything. So I'm really pleased for him. But yeah, the amount of box entries we get, we talk about crossing zones and getting 3-4 bodies in the box every time, and that's probably where we've let ourselves down in games. We've got into really good areas but haven't gotten the end of it, and that's something we need to improve on 100%. But it also comes with controlling the build, so you're able to get numbers in. It comes with physical aspects and everything. So, but we're better at it, and we get the goal because of it, and you keep doing it, and we need to keep doing that. But yeah, if we show that mentality and that desire and that willingness to work, willingness to run, willingness to do the horrible stuff, we know we've got quality, and there was some really good performances today, and it's a point towards where we need to be. We wanted to go and get we kept the two at the back at the end and still trying to get the winner, but it wasn't to be for different reasons, and we just need to make sure we regroup and the lads recover ready for Tuesday.
Yeah, and even though obviously we're hunting 3 points, as you say, it is a point in the direction that we want to go in. I suppose even we've used that phrase before. It's not a nice phrase, but sort of stop the rot and get ourselves back in to sort of point scoring. It's going to do the lads a lot of confidence, isn't it, heading into Tuesday?
Yeah, especially like you say, with in the nicest possible sense, the state of the squad. With people being out of position and we're having to find solutions, and just the amount of people unavailable. So yeah, what they gave us absolutely everything there. So some people I was really proud of. Not just today, but over my whole time here. And I thought, don't speak about him. I said it in the changing room, but Charlie Barker, just an exceptional human being and probably an exceptional captain today. So really pleased for him, and epitomised everything that's good about this group.
Yeah, Liam Fraser obviously slotted back in, looked, as you say, tireless in there, put in a really good performance for 90 minutes. As did the likes of Will and obviously Tyrese up there. We didn't have a recognised striker on the bench today because obviously we've got 2 of them suspended. How tough has that been when, we're searching for goals, but your only real sort of attacking threat other than the wide options, are on the bench? It must be really difficult.
It is difficult, yeah. And, Ty's been absolutely exceptional since he's come in. He had 7-8 months out. He's worked so hard. And he hasn't had the opportunity to get his goals, but he's done so much for the team. Same with Swanee, he had to come out of the team just for pure fatigue. It's the most games he's ever played in the season. He's been brilliant for us, never stops running, gives us everything. Liam Fraser just playing with a gash that won't close, 8 stitches in his leg, and that's just elite mentality. It is, and he would give everything, and he's been a fantastic addition and a fantastic human. And the big thing for me will be that hopefully we'll have more players coming back onto the pitch to help us. Toby coming back again today was massive for us. Hopefully Radders is okay, took a big impact. But that fight, that determination from the individuals was exactly what's needed.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Louis Watson as well. Obviously, a few fans were perhaps questioning why he came off so early, because obviously it was the 57th minute and he was playing well. again, it has to be the appreciation. He's probably played, 60 minutes of football in the last calendar year, maybe, if that.
And do you know what? I'll be really honest, we very rarely make tactical substitutions because of tactical reasons, and it might seem strange, and there's wonderful things. We've had to manage Junior for 2 months. We've had to manage Louis. Louis played 45 minutes on Tuesday night. He's now played 58, I think he got to, but we can't risk Louis getting injured, and obviously he's missed 8 months of football. Addy obviously as well. Unfortunately, the state we're in, we're having to manage bodies because we can't lose any more. It's getting to that stage, and that's a wider issue that we obviously need to address. But I understand sometimes it can be frustrating. You think someone like Louis, who was fantastic, by the way, absolutely fantastic, has to come off, considering how rusty he must feel. But you have to do it for the good of Louis, because you want to see Louis on the pitch as much as possible between now and the end of the season. So I completely get it. But I thought Pan come on, gave us energy, and obviously gets the goal. So it's going to take a lot of players for us to get, keep rolling forward, get the points, and be safe. Then we need to obviously manage those situations best we can. And obviously, I'll be honest with you, trying to figure out what you can do up front. Gav, who's been exceptional behind the scenes as a leader and as a person, coming on, I thought he affected the game and give us that bit of bite. And he'll be disappointed the minutes he gets, and I completely understand. But he's an important part of it as well. So it's not just one or two; it's a collection of players that genuinely care and want to give everything, and they're the ones that we need to rely on.
Toby, thank you for joining us. It's a point in the right direction here at the Broadfield Stadium as we draw with Reading. Can I get your overall thoughts on the game first?
Yeah, it was a tough game. I think games like this at this stage of the season are always going to be tricky, but I think we've got to try and take the emotion out of games and play it just as if it's any other league game, which is obviously difficult because we all know the position that we're in. But from obviously experience of being in these sort of positions before, the big thing is to try and, like I say, take the emotion out of it and just play the way that we know that we can, which I think we did in spells. Obviously the goal's disappointing. Other than that, they didn't really have many chances compared to what I thought we did, especially in the first half. So obviously we take the points. Frustrating not to get 3, but like I said, it could be a valuable point come the end of the season.
Yeah, I suppose you've been watching from the sidelines recently, but we just said to Rob, a lot of the frustrations in recent weeks have been that we've struggled to get a foothold in the game and really sort of create anything. Today, the frustration is we had a foothold in the game, but we were just unable to get the ball over the line until the 90th minute, because it looked like we controlled a lot of the play out there.
Yeah, it was sort of two teams, similar style of play, really. So we knew that before the game. We had to try and restrict them, which I think that we did, bar maybe a couple of chances. But I think if you look back on the game, obviously in the first half, there was a few where we've entered the box in the final third, and obviously they got a couple of vital blocks. And then I think we were the team, especially the last 20 minutes, which were in the ascendancy, it looked like we were going to go on and take it. But like I said, we can't be disappointed with a point, although we want to take 3. Essentially, it's a point on the board, which is the big thing.
Yeah, and obviously a great positive for you to come back into the side. We were just talking a little bit there off camera. You've only trained sort of once, properly, before being thrown back in, but you didn't really look out of place. And as you said a little bit before, do you think that almost helped, the fact that it was so sort of last minute with Dion's injury, meaning you'd had to come in?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said, if you think too much about it, it can go the other way. So I think the fact that I was essentially thrown in, I've trained once after being out for 6 weeks, and then obviously playing today, I think, like I said, it's actually helped the fact that I've not had too much time to think about it. I've just gone straight back in. Obviously, my legs were gone a bit towards the back end of it, but I think, for first game back, I've sort of just built my way in. I think I didn't want to try too much, but I felt like it was normal to be out there again and found my feet quite nicely. Yeah,
you did look like you found your feet quite nicely, and it must have been a tough mental challenge, because if we throw it back, before you were out with injury, you'd played effectively every single game for us. You were certainly towards the Christmas period, you were the only one who'd played pretty much every single minute of league football. So to go from playing that amount in League One at your new club to then having 6 weeks on the sideline, it must have been tough.
Yeah, it was. I think the injury, probably there's only those closest to me that know how much it's been affecting me. So I think the breathing, I played pretty much until I could, and then it was just a case of I had to tap out and do what I needed to do. So to get back out there again was really nice. Obviously, not being able to play is mentally quite tough, but I'm lucky and fortunate that I've never had too many injuries to deal with, and touch wood, it doesn't happen again. But like I said, just delighted to be back out there, and I think we've got 11 games to play now, so we'll treat them all as cup finals and see where we end up.
Yeah, you've obviously seen your fair share in recent weeks of the injury sort of room at the club. It seems to just sort of be growing, bigger and bigger by the day. But slowly, I think we are getting back, obviously, with the likes of you coming back, and we should have the likes of Jeremy coming back in the next couple of weeks. So with, a positive spin on a performance like that, there's still a lot that we can achieve this season, isn't there?
Definitely, yeah. There's obviously big players to come back. Touching it there, Jeremy, Josh Flint, who was massive for us before he got injured. and we're going to need everyone going into the final stretch of the season. Like I said, there's still plenty of games to play for, 33 points up for grabs, which I know sounds like a bit of a cliche, but all it takes is one win, and then we can spiral. We've seen it with Cambridge. Obviously, they got 2 and straight up the table. We need to do the same. We've got some massive games coming up with people that we can hopefully drag into it with the likes of Exeter and Peterborough. So we need to make the home a fortress. Like I said, it's a cliche, but we need the fans with us to make it compact here and horrible for teams to come here, because it's going to take all of us to get over the line.
Perfect. Was it?
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks. Obviously, when Flinty got injured and now yourself and Dion being injured, Charlie Barker has sort of come to the fore and he was captain today. Can you just say what your thoughts on how impressed have you been with the way he's become a sort of one of the first team names on the team sheet?
Yeah, he's a massive sort of testament to anyone that finds himself out of the team that can get into it, because I think initially he sort of bided his time and he's not necessarily the leader that you'd expect in terms of he's a shouter and a screamer, but I think the way he handles himself around the pitch, he lets his football do the talking. He leads by example. I think for a 21-year-old, he's got a very bright future, and obviously I'm very close to him off the pitch. So for me to see how well he's done in recent weeks and across the whole season, to be fair to him, he's been very, very good. And I think he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah, and I come down to the training ground sometimes to do the press conferences and I see the spirit that there is in the squad. How important is that for someone like yourself when you have 6 weeks off?
Yeah, it's massive. I've had experiences like this before where dressing rooms haven't been quite like they are here. I think people are always wanting to know what the vibe of the changing room's like, but obviously you've said it yourself, the camaraderie is there and the team spirit is there, and I've been in changing rooms where it's not. So it needs to be kept at that level. Like I said, we've all got to be in it together, which we are, and take each game as it comes. Like I said, people will be frustrated that we've not picked up 3 points. I know from a fan's point of view, they'll be annoyed and agitated, but it's a tough league. Like I said, a point today is a valuable point, although we want 3. We've just got to take each game as we come and see where we end up.
And Charlton on Tuesday night, obviously a very tough game. They've had a great run since Crawley beat them back at the Valley. How much of that positivity from that night have you got to take into this and use it as motivation?
The exact same again. I think the fans that night, again in particular, it was probably one of the best away trips that they've had. They're going to want to come here and take 3 points. We want to go here and win 3 points as well. So it'll be a tough game. Probably a lot different to today. Probably a lot less football being played with our Charlton Let's Play. They're very direct and physical. But we've got to match that and let our football come out on top. And like I said, we know on any given day if we take our chances and stand up to the task, then we can get the job done.
Thanks, Toby.